Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, am your host, Charlie. I'm joined once again, by the one and only Blane.
I'm Zelius. Look at that.
No, jeez. Okay. All right. Forget about. Hold on. I'll correct this. Boom, boom, boom. Now he's not. Wait. Where's the picture? There you go. Boom.
All right. Now I'm just empty. All right. I'm the void.
You're a special guest. I don't know why I put air quotes, but special guest. So this is the one and only Mr. Blane. So, Mr. Blane, give us a little bit of why are you here this evening?
Because I want to be.
Awesome.
I'm
That's
also
what I like to hear.
Moving across the country and wanted one last Thursday night hangout before I go.
I apologize for not being able to attend your going away party.
That's fine. If you were there, I probably wouldn't have remembered it anyways.
That is a good going away party. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump right into it, and we're going to give a little bit of love and a little bit of support with some shout-outs. So let's just go right into the first one, and that, of course, is the upcoming convention, Big Fandom Greenville. Big Fandom Greenville will be happening November 17th through the 19th, 2017, in Greenville, South Carolina. You still have a chance to get tickets. All you got to do is Google Big Fandom Greenville. I would give you the URL, but it's basically bigfandomgreenville.com. So it's probably easier to Google it than try to type that all out. I, of course, will be there. I don't know who my henchman or co-host or whomever will be, but I'll be there. I'll have a table, and, of course, I'll be giving you one, maybe two panels. Speaking of conventions, let's just get this one quickly a shout-out, and that, of course, is AndoCon. What's up, Craig Campbell? Actually, this is kind of cool, because Craig Campbell, the gentleman who just entered the chat room, is one of the individuals behind the AndoCon Kickstarter. Of course, AndoCon will be happening March 9th through the 11th, 2018, at the Marriott Peachtree Corners.
Oh,
this, of course,
nice.
AndoCon is a gaming convention of a slightly different type. That, of course, is it's not centered around video games, but it is more board games, pencil and paper, that type of thing. And the other really cool thing is, if you're looking for a game that no one knows about and you get to learn about something cool, or maybe even see something that's not actually hasn't gone through being published, there's a lot of developers out there that are giving beta tests of their games. Craig Campbell, I believe, is one of them. I don't know which game he's going to be doing, but of course he is the gentleman behind Merzen Acquisitions, Capers, and a game called Die Laughing. So be on the lookout for him, and of course go to Kickstarter.com and put in AndoCon to help fund the amazing convention that's going to happen next year. Okay, let's get into the stories. This one is really interesting. This is EVE Online is going mobile. EVE Online, of course, is that crazy-ass game that, personally, every single time, real quick, AndoCon 2018 has been Kickstarted to 70% of the fund goal. So keep it up. Keep it going.
That's pretty good. I mean, it still has a little bit time left on it. So,
yeah. Hopefully, everybody, anyone who's watching or listening to this, go over to Kickstarter and fund AndoCon. So EVE Online has been around forever. I call it the MMO you play while playing another MMO, because it's real time, like jumps between systems, and it's been around for 14 years, and there is a lot of individuals who are super duper hardcore about it. I, of course, was never hardcore about it, but I picked it up like 3 times. Each time because I was trying to get a job at CCP, but that's besides the point.
When they were here.
Yeah, before they basically blew everything up, but I'm not going to go into that one. So basically, they have Dust 514. Is that still going? You know if Dust 514 is going?
I don't know. I actually played that one, but I don't know.
Dust 514 was basically, you have...
it was the shooter.
Yeah, it was the shooter, but basically you took on quests from players in EVE, and you would be on planets to basically try to complete said quest.
Yeah, it was like clone soldiers that were fighting. That was kind of their story intro.
And then you also had Valkyrie, which was VR. Did they actually? I don't know if they...
I don't know.
I don't know if it actually happened.
So I haven't followed EVE as much because I've always viewed it as the game I love to hear about, but never want to play.
It takes a special, I'm not going to lie, it takes a special person to play that game.
Spreadsheet simulator.
Literally, all I did was I would try to save up my money to buy the biggest mining freighter there was, and just mine the shit out of everything while playing another game.
Yeah. Well, because I remember I had a friend of mine who got into it, and he was like, yeah, I spent, 7 hours mining. And I was like, was that fun? That doesn't sound fun. He goes, I think so. And the fact he couldn't say yes makes me not want to touch it. So.
Well, I mean, the other game I was playing was phenomenal, I'm sure. But the actual, like when I had to jump 28 times, or my mining lasers were going to take at least 20 minutes to do whatever the hell it needed to do. I left it on and went to another computer or turned on my console and started playing. Because no one's gonna shoot me because I'm in one of those areas that's nowhere near the pirates. Anyways, so there's going to be a mobile entry into this. Right now it's called Project Aurora. And let's see here. Let me make sure I get all of it right. The CCP is partnering the mobile game developer Play Raven, and they're saying that they're bringing an EVE Online style multiplayer action game to the mobile platform, which I don't know what the hell that means.
That sounds interesting. It sounds like it's going to be very spreadsheet based. I don't know. It makes sense because there's a lot of MMOs happening on mobile right now, and it seems to be the way to kind of revitalize the MMO genre. So I'm not surprised that that's kind of what they're doing. But the one thing they're going to have to figure out is how to make it more approachable, because mobile players are a completely different segment than PC players. So I wonder what are they going to do to do that, because the people like us that have heard all of the stuff about EVE and know kind of what it is, who's going to care about this?
Cool.
So
here is a statement from the CEO of CCP Games. For years and years, we have wanted to bring the EVE universe to mobile devices in a way that is tailored to the platform and EVE fans. We wanted to find a partner who is passionate about EVE, has a track record of producing high quality and deep mobile games, and is capable of creating completely new experiences on mobile.
It's a very generic statement.
I know, which tells me jack squat. It's like, if you play EVE, you're probably going to love this. It's going to be on mobile. We're really excited.
Is it going to be, is it a companion game to the main? Is that?
I don't know. Huh. It's coming out for iOS and Android, set for release near the end of 2018.
Okay. I want it to be good, but we'll see.
Yes. Speaking of mobile, this potentially could be something around the mobile platform. Razer basically has been teasing the world, or anyone who follows Razer. I could take it or leave it, but they put up a huge image on their website that says "Watch coming November 1st."
Could it be
this
like
year.
A watch?
Well, the thing is, that's true. It could be a watch. I don't know, but it looks like the gentleman is holding some sort of like handheld device, and in the background is a bunch of different like video game pictures. So a lot of people think that it's a mobile phone that's geared towards the mobile game players.
Well, all right. So Razer has a track record of doing really cool ideas, because they were the first kind of ones to do the like gaming tablet. What was it? Was that Fiona? I think it was, or
no, that's NVIDIA Shield.
It was the Shield before the Shield.
Right.
I forget what it was called right now, but because it had like the blocky joysticks and things on it. So I'm wondering, I think the only thing they haven't really messed with lately is mobile, but. Didn't they buy a mobile company recently, or a mobile company was looking at partnering with them, or there was some news about this recently?
I believe they bought Nextbit. They took advantage of its Nextbit acquisition, which of course is the mobile platform. So what they're saying is this event's going to it's all around watch, listen, and play. So, I mean, well, hell, they've got a humongous game library to basically do whatever the hell they want to with the Ouya
acquisition.
Yeah. Here's an Ouya controller for those of you who want to at least see one.
Looks like the Shield controller.
Actually, oh, here we go. Here's an Ouya.
Oh,
In the wild.
yeah. You still have one. Go you.
Yay!
No, so
that
the
failed device.
one thing I love about Razer stuff though is even if, people love to hate on Razer. When they do something, a lot of people do tend to follow suit later. Case in point, they were the first ones to do the gaming tablet. Now we have like the NVIDIA Shield, and like I love that thing.
Right.
They also did. A recent example was they did the little RGB headphone stand. Now we have RGB headphone stands like crazy. So I'm curious to see what people are going to follow up with whatever they do here, because it kind of propels the market forward.
I'll be very interested. I know that there's you've got the Android. Will it be Android based? That would be if it is.
It has to be. What else would it be? Unless it's some proprietary thing. But
would they actually? I mean, because the Ouya library is built off of a special flavor of Android, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, the NVIDIA Shield is built off of Android, so
Yes,
it seems like Android is the platform to use.
If you're not Apple.
Which they're not. They are a competitor to Apple, actually, with the Blade. So.
I'd be very interested to see. November 1st is, I don't know, it's right around the bend, so I'll be interested to see what they do. I mean, end of the day, it's going to have a lot of people happy and wanting to get in line for that new shiny looking thing.
That picture in the background there reminds me of that thing they showed at, was it E3 or GDC, whatever the like laser chroma thing was. That's kind of what that looks like, or that looks like.
Right. That's what over here. No, yeah. I'll tell you this right now. I probably, if it is a phone, I'm not going to run out and get one. But it might be cool. It will definitely. Now, Razer knows their stuff, so I'm not expecting like a an Ouya type of dropout where you got all this excitement and then once it gets close, no marketing.
Well, I mean,
and no support for your developers.
Because this doesn't seem like they're not using a trade show to hype something up. CES, right. That's where it was, where they showed off that thing.
Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah. So they normally when they do an event like this for something, it tends to follow. They tend to have something to follow it up with.
One can only hope.
Yeah.
There are those individuals or companies out there who find a way to screw it up. All right, so I'm going to do another shout out, and that, of course, is Extra Life. Extra Life is a charity organization that allows you to donate money to the Children's Miracle Network, Children's Hospital and Miracle Network.
Yeah.
Yep. And then every single player or team has a specific partner with the Extra Life people that the money goes to. Of course, for Alter Confusion, for the past 5 or 6 years, it's all gone to Children's Healthcare Atlanta. And I'm sure that almost everyone's out there is sick of me telling you this, but I've been there a lot when I was growing up. My sisters have, my kids have.
So was I.
So there's a ton of reason to support Children's Healthcare Atlanta. Of course, the big event is November 4th. That's a 24-hour game-a-thon. At least that's when I'm going to be doing it. You can do the 24-hour game-a-thon whenever you want to, but that's the official date. I'll be doing it from, I think the third. No, I don't even remember. I'm going to start from like 4 a.m. to go to another 4 a.m.
So you're not doing midnight to midnight?
Yeah. No, close, but no. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. I hope the time doesn't change like it did.
Oh, yeah.
Where you ended up playing 25 hours.
That was brutal last year.
Yeah, it was. I've only fallen asleep once during an Extra Life, and it wasn't last year. It was like 2 years ago. I had one of my buddies call me up and go, "Dude, are you all right?" I said, "No, yeah, I'm fine. Why?" He goes, "Dude, I've been watching your stream for the past 15 minutes. You've been walking into the same wall."
That's great.
Like, well, there, fixed. So, but if you want to donate, you of course go to extra-life.org. You can find the player that you want to donate to or the team. You can also hit me, Alter Confusion, up If you're watching this on Twitch, it's right below in the panel. Just click on that link. It'll go straight to the donation page. You can, of course, hit us up on www.alterconfusion.com. There is a donation button on the left-hand side of the page. And if you don't feel like you want to donate to Alter Confusion, but you want to donate to someone else, of course, extra-life.org, or you can start your own team. Just go to that website. You can start it. It's never too late to start a team or to go solo.
Mm-hmm.
Team is probably easier because then you can break up gaming slots so you don't go absolutely batshit nuts like I do, because I'm usually so
That's what I normally do is work with a group.
I'm usually so hopped up on caffeine by the end of it that I potentially could hallucinate. Speaking of caffeine, though, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to continue my tradition that I do ever so often. That, of course, is do the do. Unfortunately, I did get rid of the slide because there was a...
there we go.
There you go. There was a slight time where, actually 2 months, where I did not have any caffeinated beverage, but I have since broken from it because under doctor recommendation. Okay?
Did the doctor tell you to have Mountain Dew? I find that hard to believe.
No, the doctor says you need to incorporate you went completely cold turkey after drinking caffeine every day for years. He's like, no, dude, you can't do that. Your body relies on some sort of caffeine. So you could drink, don't do it in excess, but you can still drink caffeine. Like, there it is, gateway drug.
I will join you this time.
Score. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you might see my cool mug. It is the Hammer of Thor, and I got it courtesy of a fan company down in Macon, Georgia, that does their own etching on the glass. I believe I got it from MomoCon, if I remember right.
Probably.
I can't remember. All right. Okay. And into the next story. Now, this is interesting.
Interesting mix.
It is. It's delicious. All right. So, I think by now we all understand that esports, pro esports, is something that is really starting to come head on into the public eye. Mm-hmm. You have MLB, the ML BAM, the mobile network that's doing the streaming for League of Legends.
Oh, yeah.
You have TBS doing E-League, which is CSGO. People look at me where I say Counter-Strike Global Offensive, like, no, it's CSGO. I'm like, it's the same thing, okay? It's the same thing. And of course, you have a bunch of big name organizations buying up specific team franchises because they know that there's a lot of money to be made.
Yep, and universities are having esports teams.
Speaking of which, this was a topic that I'll switch over here real quick, but and we'll go into this in just a second. But speaking of universities, so Georgia State University was offering scholarships for Brawlhalla and Paladins. They have now dropped the Paladins program completely because it promotes violence. To which I say, you do understand that...
what?
You do understand that at this point in an individual's life, if they're getting offered a scholarship, playing Paladins past this point is not going to change their attitude or outlook on life. They've got years of experience. And to further this point, there is no blood.
There's not.
There's no blood in Paladins.
There's really not.
You watch the health bar go down. Like, I don't know.
It's
a knee-jerk move, and it's, I understand it's nice that Georgia State is supporting the locals.
Yeah.
Brawlhalla, of course, is Blue Mammoth, which is.
But how does that not promote violence?
I don't know. Exactly. That's what I'm trying. Brawlhalla is it's like Smash Brothers, but with different characters, and that's okay. But you got Paladins, which is a first-person shooter. I think that's what the problem was. It's first-person shooter, just the genre. I'm like, you do understand that there's like universities out there who are giving Overwatch scholarships and League of Legends scholarships, and where the hell is the Smite scholarship? I mean, if you're gonna promote Brawlhalla and Paladins, come on, Smite's right there.
I know, right?
Anyway, so everyone's trying to get on the bandwagon. You've got a bunch of got NBA franchises that are picking up entire teams or two teams and combining them together to have an even better result. Of course, you have the Overwatch Pro League, which are the landlocked teams. You have a Boston one, a New York one, two in California, one in Texas, one in Florida, halfway between Orlando and Miami. You have Seoul, and you have Hong Kong or Shanghai, something like that.
I don't know.
And there's another one as well out there. But, so there's a lot of money to be made. So, lo and behold, Hulu is now getting into the mix. And this is a little bit weird. So you have all these, you've got like Twitch, who's doing all of the Blizzard, official Blizzard streaming, except for the Overwatch Pro League, which is a different deal.
Right.
But all the other stuff like Hearthstone and whatnot, that's going to be through Twitch. But Hulu's not really streaming a specific like game.
So how is that working? Is that going to be like a esports reality show? Is it?
Let me tell you, they're coming out with 4 different shows. I will give you the names of the shows, and then we'll move on from there. All right. So the first one is Player vs. Player, which is it will be a gamified debate show featuring esports influencers discussing the latest esports topics. They'll earn points as they debate and wrap up each show by playing a classic video game. What? Really? Okay.
Oh boy. Okay.
Another show, Boot Camp, reality TV at its finest. We'll follow the CSGO team, the Immortals, as they find 3 new players and train them for November's IEM Oakland event.
You know what's going to happen is we're going to hear about this a few months after it starts. It's going to fail, and we're going to hear about all of the craziness that happened. Mm-hmm. Because something similar happened with this. Like, this exact thing happened a few years ago with a show, and I forget the name of it. But how, the producers are trying to insert drama into the...
Well, I mean, that's reality TV.
Yeah.
101. There's got to be drama. We've got to have some kind of angst, some kind of betrayal, backstabbing, something. We got to make it interesting. So that's Boot Camp.
Okay.
The next one is Defining Moments. Defining Moments will be a series that covers the major history-defining moments of esports, with each episode focusing on a specific theme, such as trick shots, controversial moves, and reflex skills.
That one could be interesting. Maybe. It sounds like that show on G4, Icons, but esports related. And I liked Icons. This sounds the least dramatic of the bunch so far.
And then finally, the last one, ESL Replay. It's going to be a quickly paced documentary-style recap of the best moments from 4 of the biggest esports tournaments around the world.
So it's a highlight show.
Yeah.
Okay. Those last 2 don't sound too bad.
Yeah.
I just wish they would replace one of those other shows with an actual game.
Right. I mean, it's like, well, we can't touch this game because they have a contract with these people. We can't touch that game because they have a contract with these people. But just gamified debate show featuring esports influencers. Who the hell are they getting professional players to sit on a panel or something?
Twitch streamers.
And discuss the latest esports topics. They're going to debate and wrap up each show by playing a classic video game. What? What?
It's going to be streamers. You know it is.
But the question is, what is going to make this any different than the shows you have on YouTube and Twitch already going?
Well, this one's going to be produced by Hulu.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. But are they gonna there's some really stylized, really thought out stuff that's already in place. And the other thing is you have to be a Hulu subscriber.
Well, so the thing with this is that most of the stuff that's already on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, that's not that's people who are passionate about it doing it, and that's great. And whereas Hulu, this is like a syndicated network, because isn't it Fox that runs Hulu?
I have no idea.
But they, so this is like a syndicated official broadcasting network throwing their weight into esports, which, while may have some not so great things, does bode well as a whole for the esports industry, because it's getting more and more recognized by groups like this.
Right.
So, this is definitely can go either way. This could be really good or really bad. I feel like it's going to be probably more on the bad side, but in the long term, there'll be some good.
My one fear for all of these shows is that you have individuals who are on the outside looking in on this esports phenomena.
Yeah.
And they don't understand the nuances and what's actually important to fans of that genre or that type.
Well, no, and so that's where you're going to get the horror stories of, the producer came in and tried to start drama between us and, divide the players or divide the auditionees for the team or, whatever.
Actually, there's one other thing that I'd be very interested about, and that is if you do have like streamers or esports professional players, how much is their time worth?
Right.
Because are they basically going to nickel and dime them, or are they actually going to, do a competitive rate? Or all of this will be premiering in the fall, which technically it is already fall, but we're just going to let that one go.
Is it fall? It was like 90 degrees out yesterday.
Okay, that's Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta is just effed up. Okay, it could be any degrees out there, but the humidity will basically slap you upside the head and go, you're not going to feel what it's supposed to be. We'll see. I mean, I want esports to be, front and center and show how awesome it could be. Did you hear about Blizzard's statement about the updates for Overwatch and why they're so few and far in between?
I've heard a few things. Which one are you talking about?
Blizzard came out with a statement that stated, due to the level of toxicity, we're trying to put more time into trying to fix that than put out updates.
Yeah,
So if y'all don't play nice, you don't get nice things.
Which, cool. Thank you. Yeah. I will not complain.
Yeah, I won't complain either.
It's sad that it's gotten to that level. And I hope that the people who are producing the esports shows for Hulu don't take that as a sign that the esports community is garbage. I mean,
there's special little circles of hell in each community that, Well,
because if they think it's that, then they're going to produce content that they think lines up with that group.
Right.
And while there is a group that is, I personally do not think it's the esports community or audience as a whole.
It's usually the casual players who are the biggest douchebags. It's not really, when you're watching.
It's not even that. It's a very vocal minority that tends to just, because they're so loud and obnoxious, kind of.
That's why I mute everybody upon entering a game.
Yeah.
Every single time. Of course, I get like the angry text at the end of the game going, "Why weren't you listening to me?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, keyboard broken." Which I've done. I do it in Paladins. I definitely cut the audio off on Paladins.
Oh yeah, well you have to.
Because oh my god, there's some players out there. I'm just like, shut up. It's usually those people who wait till the last second to choose the character. And it says right there for Paladins, it says, you need a frontliner or support or something.
Yeah, you're missing this.
And then they choose like a flanker or something. And then they bitch and moan the entire game going, well, we're going to lose because we don't have this or that. I'm like, you're the last one to pick. Like, if you thought that was an issue, you should have picked one of those.
And it was the last second, so nobody else could change.
Oh, no, my favorite, and I've fallen into this trap a couple times, is you start panicking because you're like, oh my god, we need a support or we need a frontliner. No one's choosing it, so you pick it at the last second.
And then
but
someone
else did
also,
too. Like,
yeah.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
It's like, thank you for paying attention, but yeah.
Well, of course, my other biggest issue with any Paladins and Smite, I'm sure it goes to all the esports games as well, is that if you have selected to be in a queue, for the love of all's holy, when it's time to play, say yes. And then when you actually are into the character selection screen, which means that you had to hit yes, I'm ready to play, you better freaking choose a character. Otherwise, I'm going to find you through the internet, I'm going to hunt you down, I'm going to smash your head into the ground. Oh
See,
my god.
This is why the esports community gets a bad rap. Listen to your toxicity.
I want to play the game. I want to get the best experience. It's just ridiculous. It's like you are. I'm just for the hell of it. I'm just going to say you're a NASCAR. You want to be a NASCAR driver, okay? You got in the car. You get to the starting line, and then you decide to walk away and wonder why your car hasn't gone forward. Like, anyways. Yeah, but yeah. All right, let's talk about another esport, and that, of course, is, and this, I will never understand this. I guess it's just not my demographic, but Hearthstone. Hearthstone, of course, is that digital collectible card game brought to you by Blizzard, where you get to choose a hero, and then you build a deck around that hero to emphasize the different things. Now, up to this point, the only way to really record your playthroughs was to utilize like Twitch or some kind of like screen recording software.
Makes sense.
Which does cause some issues and doesn't.
I mean, that's pretty standard.
Right, it's pretty standard, but there are individuals out there who want to be able to like dissect it a little bit quicker, get a little bit more deep into the information and whatnot. Well, there is a third-party app that's called Hearthstone Deck Tracker, and it's been okayed by Blizzard. This is the big thing. Blizzard's like, cool.
That's okay. Nice.
So basically, what this does is, hold on, I just lost.
What does it do?
Okay. First, you download and run Hearthstone Deck Tracker, an app made by the same team called Hearthstone Deck Tracker, and you run it while playing Hearthstone. This software will track wins and losses. It will also include optional overlays that will show what cards in your deck that you haven't drawn so far, what cards your opponents have used this game, and so on. Having the extra information so readily accessible can feel like cheating. But don't worry, Blizzard has said that anything you could track by keeping notes is fair game for third-party apps like this.
I see.
So what happens is it basically records your gaming session, and then you can basically run it through their Hearthstone replay, and it will basically show you a breakdown of the game in a very simplified manner, where you could stop and pause and all that stuff. And also, here's the thing that kind of, I don't know, makes me a little wary of this. In order to utilize the replay functionality, you have to use your official Battle.net login and password to basically authenticate. Now, of course, Blizzard says, yep.
I mean, if they're approving it. Then...
I know, but still, it just a little bit, I'm a little iffy on third-party stuff having access to my Battle.net stuff, seeing that I've had my Battle.net account stolen twice.
So on the flip side, I think that this shows that, I guess, Blizzard trusts this company. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it gives it a bit more validity to it, rather than you having to create an account separately with this other thing. You got it all already right there.
True.
So
it is cool, and having a big name like Blizzard say, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
As long as they don't make money off it. That's probably the one caveat, is that you can't make a dime off this. Which then begs the question, if they have a donate now button, and so people are donating for them to continue to develop it, will they be able to accept that money?
I don't know.
Interesting!
Things to think about or deal with in the future.
All right, so I even forgot that this was happening, but the voice actor strike has now sort of ended. After almost 300 days of being on strike, there has been a slight agreement. The voice actors are still pissed as shit. However, there is a little bit extra to it. Basically, up to this point, what the deal was, that you would get a base pay. If you're a voice actor, you get a base paid, and then you would gain additional money based on the number of units sold. Now, I want to clarify something real quick because there are individuals out there who will probably think that in my opinion, the devil itself, GameStop, those used game sales do not count towards this. This is only the new game sales that get the voice actors paid. Now, that's going to change. It's no longer be units. It's going to be tied into the number of sessions an actor was commissioned for, which doesn't sound like all that better of a deal. Like technically, yeah, you could probably get, if you have to keep coming back in, they're going to give you extra money for coming back in. But at the same time, you're not getting any type of bonus off of if the game is popular and your voice becomes humongous. The other issue behind voice actors is that it's a union job. In order to get to the big companies, you got to go through the union. And these are the regulations that the union is setting and basically stomping on all the voice actors' metaphorical balls. There are several voice actors who have basically permanently destroyed their vocal cords because they've had to do long sessions of screaming and yelling or trying to distort their voice. And that, of course, this new deal still doesn't compensate them in the correct manner. But if you ever want to voice a game for companies like Warner Brothers Interactive, Activision, Electronic Arts, Take-Two Interactive, you're going to have to go through the guild. And the guild, of course...
SAG-AFTRA?
Yeah.
I think that's it? Yeah.
Yep. SAG-AFTRA. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know that many voice actors, so I would like to talk to one of them directly and get their thoughts on it. Because I know this has been a big issue for a while, and you see the public statements, because it didn't, like a lot of the big publishers, they had to kind of come together to figure out how to deal with this, and so it'd be interesting just to see, from an individual perspective,
right?
Rather than just hearing from these big groups or big companies.
Well, the unfortunate thing about voice actors is that it's a voice. It's not you. Very rarely do you get to place a face with the voice. A lot of the voice actors are literally, by the mic, never on camera.
Right.
So it's a little bit harder for people to go, well, I don't understand. You're just talking in a room. Well, why do you need to pay money for that?
So much more to it than that. But yeah.
But the thing is that all the individuals that are part of this union, they do hope and pray that this is the start of something to help better everything later.
Okay.
So
it sounds like it's more of a stopgap.
That's what the voice actors are hoping for. They're not exactly 100% sure. But this is, of course, a tentative agreement introducing the new work guidelines. So I just hope that I hope these voice actors actually get the love and respect they deserve.
Yeah.
Because some of those voice actors are phenomenal.
Well, and I was listening to something earlier today, and they were talking about how they would get called in voice sessions, if they were screaming 40 hours a week, but they still had a whole nother thing to do. They better get ready because, they're going to have to do it again. And stuff like that seems pretty common, just the sheer amount of demand for entertainment. So, you're going to constantly be voicing something. Right.
Well, the other thing is, let's say that you are a voice actor and you start small, so you're doing non-union stuff, right? Then you get to the level where, that the big name companies want you. However, they require that you be part of the union. Once you're part of the union, you can no longer take non-union jobs. So
yeah,
you're basically screwed if the companies you want to work for are giving you a hard time or basically dragging you through the dirt, but you've got these upstarts or something that really want to use your voice, but you can't because you're part of the union now. Bleh.
It's tricky.
That it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Say that as my voice starts distorting.
All right, so that's literally all the topics I have. So I'll do another couple quick shout outs here. there is an amazing game called Star Quest Tales.
You're still talking about this?
Yeah. The next chapter is coming up a couple of months.
Yeah.
Star Quest Tales, of course, is based off of the comic Snarf Quest, which is in Dragon magazine in 1980s. Drawn by Larry Elmore. This is Cell Block Studios' vision.
Yeah, well, they're working
platform.
with
Right, yeah.
With Larry Elmore. It's a great team of people that are making that.
Yeah, James is awesome. And then, of course, the voice actor behind a lot of it is the gentleman behind Honest Trailers, which is really freaking cool, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
forgot he told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty damn cool. And the cool thing, and I've had James on the show a couple times to talk about this, but the guy, I can't remember the gentleman's name who does the Honest Trailers, but
I don't know his name. I just know that voice.
James could call him up out of the blue and go, "Hey, man, you remember that old character, that the crotchety character that you did? I need a couple more lines. Is it going to take you some time for you to remember the voice and all that?" He goes, No, dude. And just bam, bam, bam. And then he's right back at James. I'm like, damn.
That's really cool.
That is a voice actor, ladies and gentlemen. And James is probably paying him nicely, even on a small budget. But, yeah, check out Star Quest Tales. Of course, it's on Steam. Just Google it.
It's episodic.
Yeah, it's
series.
episodic. I believe it's 4. I think in total it's going to be 4.
I don't remember.
I think it's going to be in total of 4. It's a lot of like 80s humor.
Yeah, that sounds
There's
about
some
right.
He-Man references and some Monty Python references and
Classic D&D stuff too.
Yeah, that too.
Obviously.
yeah. But definitely go check it out. And then finally, self-promo. Ladies and gentlemen, there's an amazing thing called Patreon. Patreon is your chance to be a patron to all these amazing independent talents. Alter Confusion, of course, is one of these Patreon subjects. I can't remember. Organizations. Man, God. Sorry, my brain is like halfway here and halfway trying to write a something for a wedding. So, 2 places at one time. So basically, Alter Confusion has a page set up for Patreon, and the money that we raise from there allows us to go to conventions and also do the upkeep for our equipment, maybe upgrade some of the equipment, like our camcorder, which is 10 years old.
The little red one?
Yeah. Man, I've had it since the beginning of Alter Confusion. Also, we got to figure out a way to get new Alter Confusion t-shirts, because those are about 8 years old, and they're starting to fall apart. Anyways, so if you like what Alter Confusion... Am I getting married again? No, moron.
This is how he treats his fans, his audience.
No, I would never treat an audience member like this, but it's the co-host who said that he was too sleepy, who decided to log on. So I'm going to just poke him.
See, if your brain is halfway here and halfway there, you're going to start the wedding off with, "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sunday night wedding."
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the wedding of this person and that person. Woo! Moron. What the? Okay, anyways. Patreon allows us... Patreon allows us to... The money we get through Patreon allows us to update our equipment, and the vast majority of it is to help pay for conventions. The fun fact for a lot of the conventions is, even if you can get a fan table, you can get a free fan table, you still have to pay for electricity.
And internet.
Well, I don't potentially need internet, though.
Oh, okay.
But yes, if you're a vendor, you have to have it. Unless you have a strong enough signal.
Which you won't.
Not at MomoCon, you won't.
Most cons you won't.
Yeah, because those damn things, the vendor hall's usually in a basement or are surrounded on all sides without a window.
They're built in like Faraday cages.
Zealous has asked if Patreon helped pay for weddings. No, the bride and groom help pay for weddings.
Could it pay for weddings? I don't know.
I'm not. I mean, the money that I get from being a minister does not go into Alter Confusion. How about that? It's a side business. Alter Confusion is my side business, and being a minister is my side business, and being a Georgia notary is my side business as well. I'm a jack of all trades. What can I say? But yeah, once again, money that goes. Patreon is a monthly donation thing. It will automatically deduct from your, or basically charge a credit card, deduct from your bank account every single month. I don't remember what the exact cutoff date is. If you feel that that is not what you want to do, but you still want to give to Alter Confusion, there is a PayPal button that's set up right below this if you're watching the live video. I think it's like a donate now button, or you can go to our website, www.alterconfusion.com. There's also a donate now button on the left hand side, which is right above the Extra Life banner. So anything can help. If you find that you want to help Alter Confusion some other way, hit us up through any of our social media means. Facebook is Alter Confusion. Twitter is @AlterConfusio. That's Alter Confusion without the N, because the N would break the internet. You can also check out our YouTube channel, Alter Confusion LLC. And of course, our website is www.alterconfusion.com. And oh, by the way, if you're not watching this live, we have a live Thursday night hangout on twitch.tv/alterconfusion every Thursday. And I think and if you want to listen to the audio version of the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout, you of course can go to the Apple podcast page and search for Alter Confusion, and then you can sign up. And every single time we have a new version out there, you can download it and then listen to it. I know a lot of people.
Is that free?
Mm-hmm.
It's free.
It's free. I know a lot of people want to tune in or find out what we talked about in the show, but watching a video is a little bit intrusive and might draw attention from your fellow coworkers. So perhaps an audio-only version is what you seek, and you can have it through the Apple Podcast Store.
Good.
Okay, Zelia says the buttons aren't there on the iOS app. Alter Confusion doesn't have an iOS. Oh, wait.
No, probably Twitch.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, we are we're open for any type of topic. I think this is the one I went. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Yep, there it is. So if there is any topics out there, we could talk about it, or Zelius could just keep spamming the chat room with different types of applications, an iOS app, a Braille version, or text transcript. I think he's making fun of my day-to-day job now. For those of you who don't know, I am a compliance officer. I have to make sure that everything at my work complies to ADA standards, a specific section called Section 508. If it doesn't, basically, if there's a product, be it digital or physical, that not everyone can use, we can't have it. And I do all the testing to make sure that it covers as many bases as possible. If it doesn't, then I try to work with the vendor to see if we can make it better. So I think he's trying to go, because text transcripts would be required if we were government. If Alter Confusion was funded by the government, every single video would have to be accompanied with a text transcript.
That would suck.
And this would be a killer here. This is something that a lot of individuals don't even think about, is this live show would have to have live captioning as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because individuals would not be able to enjoy this show that's being funded by the government. It's not being funded by the Alter Confusion. I would love, if some governmental aficionado or whatever wants to, fund us, then I will look into getting live captioning. Done. But yeah. Kids at school was looking at a map for the test and couldn't do it due to being colorblind. That is a huge one.
That's a thing, yeah.
That's why the vast majority of websites, I know I'm completely going off the rails, but whatever.
Oh, hey, it's from the Twitch chat. So,
yeah. The vast majority of websites, if you follow the standards, are not supposed to have highlighted words whatsoever, because of the simple fact that there could be a colorblind individual.
So I used to make maps and for like cities and stuff to use for like subdivision planning and like land management planning, and we had to worry about ADA compliance with it. So we would use lots of bright contrasting colors so that you knew exactly what was what.
The other thing is that the other thing that you have to be careful with is a contrast ratio of
Yeah.
of you can't have like a light blue on like a dark blue.
No.
Because you wouldn't be able to see it.
We had a set color palette that we used. So
Yeah, color palettes. Yeah, that's an issue on its own. If it's a standardized color palette for your entire institution or corporation and it's broken, the amount of hoops you have to jump through to make that itty bitty little change, that hexadecimal change, to make it valid, requires so many meetings. And yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But my favorite response is, well, if we fix it for this website, it might break all the other ones. No, a color palette is a color palette, and it's just applied to the website. So if it works on one, it works on all of them.
no,
I don't think color palettes are part of getting teacher licensure. What is licensure?
Getting your teaching license. No, it's not. But so
that's up to the IT director, Zelius.
So here's a topic that I was asking you about earlier that we didn't bring up in the show.
Sure.
The last Mordor game and their wonderful
Shadow of War.
Yeah, they've had some fun goes at it lately.
Well, okay, so from my understanding, of course, there was that huge charity debacle where if you had to be in specific states or countries in order for the money to actually go towards the charity fund for the I think it's like a high up art editor or something for the game. That's what the deal was supposed to be for this limited edition like DLC. But depending on where you were, that money may not actually go to that fund. It might actually just go back to the company.
Right.
Because of specific state laws.
Well, they ended up like canceling it, I think.
Yes,
or
they
something.
did because they had so much backlash.
But that's not the thing I was talking about. So I was about the loot box fiasco that has now become an industry-wide debate because of this game.
So please.
I mean, I have a very surface level understanding of this. I'm moving, so I haven't paid as much attention to the news as I should have.
New game, we're getting 100% complexion is locked behind random loot boxes.
That's the debate. This way. That's the debate.
Oh wait,
yeah.
I was pointing at Blane. This way.
So that's the debate, where they're saying that some people are saying that the only way to get the real ending to the game is you have to buy loot boxes for the orcs, but a lot of reviewers and other people who have played the game are saying no, like that is a way to do it, or you can grind up and do it yourself. But the debate seems to be central around this idea of should a game like this big AAA budget game that costs a premium price have randomized loot boxes. Whether or not it does block off the content or not, I don't think that seems to be the core of the debate anymore, since it's kind of been found out you can grind up to it. It just seems to be this idea of should the loot boxes be there, and that is something that I think that the industry is trying to figure out. Because these aren't cosmetic differences. When you have a game like Overwatch, the differences were strictly cosmetic. It was, not affecting the game, whereas this mechanic or this feature is definitely affecting the game. It's affecting the long-term story of the game, or whatever they say is the real ending. There's also, I think it was an Open Critic that has now taken to analyzing and critiquing this part of games. If this game has it, Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is a big grind from what I understand. So I know there's also been a lot of YouTubers and streamers that have devoted time to talking about this, because it definitely seemed to be the shift the industry was kind of going in lately. I think that this debate is definitely going to determine where it goes from here. Whether or not it is a long-term trend that we're going to see, or whether or not it stops here, because it seems that the PR backlash that they've been getting from even just having them in there doesn't seem to me to be worth the money they would have made from it being in there, because now people are going to be wondering what else are they going to do after this.
It finally clicked. I do remember this, but for some reason, every single time you said, what did you say, loot boxes or loot crates?
Yeah, loot boxes.
Right.
It's not.
I kept thinking of like the monthly mail thing. I'm like, people are buying multiple subscriptions? What? Okay, yeah, but I remember now.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's pay to win after you pay to play the game.
Because we saw this debate originally creep up with Overwatch, because you were paying, $50 for a game, and then you still had randomized loot crates in it. The difference is that, those were cosmetic.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is actual content.
And it's technically, couldn't you technically draw a parallel to the real money marketplace in Diablo?
Not really, because that you would buy specific items.
That's true.
This is you're paying for RNG to get the real ending of the game. Again, like what Zelia said, is you can grind up to it.
Yeah.
That was their intention. I think that when they put it in, that was their intention. They tended to have most people grind up, and this was just a way for people who didn't want to grind up kind of get through it. Mm-hmm. But should it be there? Because look at all of the backlash it has reached. Total Biscuit just put out a video on it. You've got lots of other people talking about this. OpenCritic is now taking in loot boxes into account for any game. Right.
I think one of the major factors that I would assume a lot of individuals would have to consider is, if they go this route and there's a competitive like PvP part to it.
Oh, that'll just destroy.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't think anybody's going to do that. I hope. If they does, they've killed their game. There's nothing they can do about it. That is the other side of this. This is just a single player thing.
Right.
It doesn't.
So there are going to be individuals who are out there going, well, it's my game. If I want to pay extra, I could do this. But to be able to, get more out of the game than those who don't pay.
Yeah, well, so that's actually a point. Or this is actually a point down.
Just
here.
just point it red.
Is why did they do loot boxes instead of just let you buy whatever the orc is that you wanted? Mm-hmm. And I guess the only answer to that is they liked what Overwatch was doing, and they didn't realize the impact it was going to have. And also, on the business side, they wanted people to keep spending money. So
Right.
So this is probably also where like some business guy came in and made this decision without really understanding what was going on.
The sad reality of like anything is you have someone, business people are like, we got to make a little bit more money, so let's do this, and you just have to run with it.
So that is a thing that's currently that debate is still ongoing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be interesting to kind of see where that goes. So there's another big fiasco that's going on right now that you didn't bring up, and I apologize in advance because this may get a little political. But Wolfenstein, have you been following that?
I heard that. I've heard that there's an issue with the Nazis.
That's sad. That is sad. Like Pete Hines over at Bethesda, you can tell he's just so mad that he's having to say because they put out a statement today. Like, okay, brief rundown. Wolfenstein has this marketing campaign. It's like make America Nazi free again, and then they also said like kill all Nazis or something like that.
Right.
And people got mad. It was like, And they got offended by it. It's like, if you're going to get offended by this, you're probably not on the right side of things if you're getting mad about.
So historically,
Nazis are bad.
There are two groups. One who people openly still consider themselves as, and another one that was underground or supposed to have disappeared, but apparently is now out in the open, that bad guys could always be, and no one would feel bad. And that, of course, was Nazis and Russians. Russians still don't give a shit. But apparently individuals are very offended that you're shooting genocidal maniacs.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Normally, when they get offended that you're shooting at things, they're mad at the fact that you're having violence in games.
Right.
Right. That's not what they're mad at this time. They're
mad that a group who lost a war and had lots of head people put on trial for all the atrocities they've done.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so Pete Hines, like, he put out a statement today, and essentially he was just kind of like, Nazis are bad. What's the problem here? Like, that's more or less what he said. I think he had a more professional way of saying it. But so the other thing to think about this is this game has been in development for a while.
Yep.
When they started making it, they had no idea what the case is going to be. I will say the marketing campaign, that was a little more recent, and good job on them for doing that.
Right.
But the fact that Wolfenstein is in modern America a political statement is bad. That's not okay.
Zelius is like, Zelius makes a good point here. Wolfenstein 3D, the classic group, it's okay to kill in games. I mean, I will fully tell you that I thoroughly enjoyed shooting Hitler in the face repeatedly as he had his freaking Gatling guns trying to go at me. I have no issue. I still have no issue because Nazis bad.
Yeah, it's pretty basic, but this is the world we're in right now.
This is the reason why I don't play first-person shooters that involve human races or ethnicities that I see or could potentially see. That's why I like Halo.
But did you think you were going
No, I didn't think I was going to have an issue with shooting a Nazi.
Yeah.
Because they're bad. They've been bad. They continue to be bad. I don't understand why someone says it's terrible.
Yeah. So just imagine, like, I can't imagine, because I work on the PR side, and because I couldn't imagine having to deal with this. Like, if I couldn't be Pete Hines right now, because I don't think I could take it seriously enough to be like, are we really having to debate this?
Yeah.
Like, I feel for him.
One of the most evil group of individuals in the history of the world. There are people now sticking up for.
Openly. And there's enough of them to get media attention. Like,
Zelius says, let's make that easy.
I mean, sure, let's
make them zombie Nazis. They're already dead.
Right. That's right. So there you go. There's two pieces of news that I have brought to the table.
It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. The crazy stuff that's happening everywhere.
So it does bring a point in games with games right now, because now that Wolfenstein of all games is being made out to be this gigantic political statement, and now you have media on either side targeting that game, and they've always kind of targeted games, but now it's, before the argument was, do games make you bad? Now the argument is the game making a statement? And so you're probably going to see more stuff like this from developers, Whether it's accidental, whether it's intentional, who knows?
The thing is, if you are determined or driven enough, you can make shit up about any game
Right.
to say that it is racist or atrocious or detrimental to a group. Or you could go the South Park route of the difficulty of the game increases the darker your skin is.
Right. Which that's
It's a social commentary, people.
Well,
Nazis bad.
there was also in similar style of the now Nazi controversy. I'm sorry, I have to get shake my head every time I think of that. There was the Destiny fiasco a few weeks ago, where one of the artists put in the Kek arms on it. And are you familiar with that? So it was the Kek is Kekistan or something. I forget the name of it, but essentially it's a made up country group of people type thing, and it uses the German flag from World War II as their thing, and so it's kind of been it's started on 4chan because all bad things start there,
of course.
And so it when it was discovered, I think what probably happened is one of the artists maybe have thrown this in there, whether or not they understood, I don't know. Nobody, whoever approved it may not have known. Nobody really knows, but it got put in, and then now Destiny 2 was in the spotlight for having this kind of racially charged content. It's just another game that was being examined in this way, and it's becoming a trend, because even if the company doesn't stand or support thing, they may have individuals that do, and individuals that could sneak things in like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting trend.
Well, the thing is, we're in such a polarizing moment that people, like I said, an individual who has the drive or the passion could find something degrading or negligent or something to any game. I mean, when Overwatch came out with that new character, which I can't remember off the top of my head, there was a lot of people crying about him being a black stereotype.
Doomfist. Yeah. So that's a good point with the Zelius, though, is he thinks they had no idea until pointed out. And to a point, I would agree. The reason why I hesitant to say, I think somebody knew something, because the way the armor greaves were designed was identical to the way it was on their little flag and their logo. So somebody had to have seen it somewhere to make it. And normally when you see things and then make it, you kind of know where it came from, I would think. Now, this could have been a freelance artist, it could have been one of their content, it could have been somebody somewhere, and then maybe further up the chain they may not have understood, but somebody somewhere knew what they were doing when this happened, and that's sort of been the understood argument with this. But, as I said, as with Wolfenstein, that was also Destiny, so I wonder what is next. What's the next thing that games are going to be targeted? What's the next game that's going to be targeted? What's the next developer that's going to do something to bring this discussion back? Does that make sense?
That's a very good question. And I would have to say Rockstar is probably going to be right there front and center. Zeli says part of it's when Wolfenstein 3D the first game came out, there wasn't a platform for everyone to raise a stink. Now, even Nazis has social platforms to make their voice heard.
Well,
so then media picks it up.
I would say that when Wolfenstein first came out, there was, well, maybe not when it immediately came out, but shortly after it came out, there was a platform, because Columbine, that happened, and Doom became the game that everybody picked on. But the context was different.
Right.
People weren't mad that you were shooting the demons; they were mad that you were shooting a gun. Do you see the difference? It's a completely different conversation.
Right. Well, a lot of people had a humongous issue. Well, yeah, just the shooting, and then of course you had those individuals who decided to use a map creator to create levels out of their school
Yeah, well, that was in Counter-Strike, wasn't it?
They did it in Counter-Strike. They did it in a couple.
Yeah.
And those individuals were either suspended or expelled. Even if it wasn't in if it was in a non-violent game.
Right.
The fact of the matter that someone actually mapped out the entire school was scary enough for them to get suspended. Yeah, I don't even.
So this is what you have to look forward to in the games industry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that we are, like I said, we're in a very polarizing moment in more than just the game industry, but the game industry, of course, is where all the confusion has the vast majority of their focus on. Zelius says that he knew a teacher who did that. Oh, create a floor plan in a game to help with a defensive plan for the school, just in case. They probably paid for it. Like the school.
Yeah, that was probably like a school telling somebody to do it. That wasn't, like a map mod.
No one freelanced that. And they're like, hey, by the way, here is a 1-by-1 representation of our school. Maybe you should use it to do a defense plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go from here. I know that there's always controversy in video games.
There is, but it's definitely different now.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
So.
I mean, I'm kind of yearning for the days to go back to professional athletes getting pissed at their likeness on the in the game, and they want a cut of the cash instead of this. Or I had a buddy who had a friend who was a walk-on at, I think it was like North Carolina or Duke, and if you looked at the entire roster, like it was like college basketball 2K8 or something. If you looked at it, you could see all the different players, and most of them kind of look like the actual player, but this guy was so buried deep on the bench that when you pulled him up, by the way, this guy is a short 5'8" white guy, white pale as you can get, and on the roster, someone, I guess, just like, this person's never going to play, so screw it. They put a 6'2" very black gentleman for that player. So that guy should have had a grip. But I missed those days. It's weird that now I'm going back, to these petty arguments. Or hell, let's bring back the tattoo artist that's suing 2K Sports for utilizing his original IP designs of the tattoos that he gave to basketball players, that these designers have then put on the players' digital arms.
That's an interesting debate. That's how. Okay.
Their counter argument was like, what? Are you going to try to charge LeBron James money every single time he appears on a TV show? No, because that's the real LeBron James. He paid for that, so he can show where the hell he wants it to.
Yeah.
Well, it's not digital.
Have you, so in also talking about the growth of game industry, controversies and problems, the thing, so this is kind of where I'm about to go with copyright about murder. That is. Is PUBG versus Battle Royale or Fortnite Battle Royale. And I was following this because depending on how that went, that could have had some major impacts legally, because you can't copyright software, I think it is, or whatever it is.
You can't copyright. You can basically protect the lines of code, but if you can't mechanics, I don't think it's
so I forget the exact. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what the exact thing is, but there's certain things you can and cannot copyright. Games is one of the things you cannot copyright. You can copyright the IP, but not the game. But they, but what was it? Blue Hole's big argument is that they weren't mad that somebody else made the game. They weren't trying to own the genre. They were mad that it was Epic because Bluehole uses Unreal Engine, and they pay licensing fees. They made all of these improvements to the engine to use to have 100-player, battle royale combat. And then Epic kind of took that, and then they made that, and now it's.
Yep.
And also, Epic, they're saying Epic used PUBG in like their promotional materials, and even if it was just like in passing name, it was still there until. It was interesting to see that dynamic, and then once the lawyers would get involved with it, then what direction would they take it, and then having to explain it all to a judge that wouldn't understand any of it. What would the possible ruling on that be? And what would that mean for the future of games?
So Zelius points out that Fortnite, the developers behind Fortnite are suing some of the modders because they've basically built in cheats into the game.
Yeah, so that's the thing that's happening right now. They are doing that. They just passed like 100 million players, I think.
Yeah, they're highest on Steam right now.
Yeah, they're pretty high up there, which probably doesn't make PUBG look all that like PUBG's probably not all that thrilled about it, but it's just another growth in the debate because what can happen there? What is going to happen there? Yeah.
So, speaking of I guess borrowing concept and what is and what isn't legal, did you hear about the company Silicon Echo that was pulled from Steam? Because
the 200 game. Yeah, I saw that. That's another thing.
The thing is, and Zelius and I were talking about this. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before, but the thing that kind of really stood out for me was, I understand, it's absolute shovelware. They're basically just recycling stuff. However, the simple fact that they created a bunch of shell companies to put additional games out, to me, shows deception, because in a certain way they're like, well, if this one gets closed down, we've got these other 8.
Yeah.
And that's where I personally had the issue. Now, of course, I'm not I can't tell you how many game codes I've received for, hey man, you gotta review this game. And it's like RPG Maker. Every single freaking game, it's like you're using the exact same tile set. You changed a couple people's names, but the story basically goes the same place from A to B.
I mean, that part gets a bit questionable, but when there are some things that are very obvious clones or direct rips, it gets a bit difficult. Because, working on the PR side, we've had our clients cloned, and it's not good. It's difficult to deal with because, the Google Play and the App Store were very difficult to kind of moderate that stuff.
Right.
And you have people who just don't know about it. And that's also where you can't really fight it legally because you can't copyright games. Even if as a developer and as a person playing the game, exactly where this came from, you can't prove it legally, that's kind of the rut the industry is in right now. So with this whole thing with PUBG versus Epic Games, it would have been the first time any kind of case like this would have been in court, and it would have laid the groundwork or the foundation for anything to come after it. So
Zelius basically with the different art, or basically utilizing the same art in different games. There was an artist, I think it was 2 years ago at MomoCon, that was forcibly removed.
Yes, I saw this. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So basically, what this artist was doing is he's going from convention to convention. He's snatching up fan art, putting it into Photoshop, adding some splatter filter and maybe a haze filter on it, and then selling it. And he's basically been blacklisted, I think, on almost every single one now. But there is a lot of developers or con men out there who would try to utilize a lot of the look of a game. There was a game that somehow, I cannot remember the game. I would call it Two Kingdoms, but it's probably not what it is. but it was a while back, and literally the game looked like a mod from Elder Scrolls Morrowind, I believe, utilizing the entire tile set of Elder Scrolls Morrowind, I believe is the one he pulled from. And it was a $60 game that was up on all the shelves, and then Bethesda got wind of it, and then all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Because when you are a humongous company, even if you are in the wrong, you have a ton of money behind you, and you can stomp out anyone that has maybe even like a percentage.
So that was actually brought up recently too, with the whole Bethesda and Prey versus Prey for the Gods, that indie game that was kickstarted and everything. Because Bethesda got a lot of heat from that, and people wanted to know why this, mega company was targeting this smaller indie. And their defense was, because of the way trademark law and like copyright law is set up, I think it was more trademark rather than copyright. Because Prey for the Gods used, Prey. The word Prey was in the title, and it was versus Prey, their game, and they were like, So the reason that their defense that they had to, go through the court or the legal system was that if there was ever a case where they just let it go, then it makes any future case they filed in the future weaker, because the judge will say, well, why was this okay and this one's not? And, and it's like, well, again, we in the industry understand, well, they're two very different things, and these two are the same. But for a judge, they don't see it that way. They're just looking at it as two games. Why was this one okay and why was this one not? So Bethesda's stance is, anytime there could be a potential thing, their lawyers act on it.
And this kind of reminds me, there's a couple examples that immediately come to mind. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he had, I think it was like a magazine or something that was called Edge. So basically, he went after everybody who had Edge in their title. Then you also had King, who came out and tried to go after anyone who had Candy, Crush, or Saga in there. And they went after Banner Saga because it's Saga. Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, and you had Games Workshop who did similar things, that anytime like a game had a Space Marine in it or something, and the good thing about a lot of those cases that happened, it sucked at the time, but it ironed out those laws. It got them, because like now, because of cases like that, there's like the list of words, like the universally recognized words that you can use without it, and they have, they have certain rules and stuff with them, but that you can use freely without it, you having to worry about going to court. I think Banner Saga versus Candy Crush Saga was a weird one, because they were two games, two
completely different genres.
Yeah, again, that's where judge doesn't know that. Right. But they were in the same sort of industry, and it was kind of when some of those things, a lot of things were happening at around that time, and that had a weird thing to it. I can't remember it all right now, but they were able to resolve it, obviously, because Banner Saga 2 launched, was that this year or last year?
I think it was this year.
So, it's been resolved. But the only reason why it was able to get resolved was because we've had so many cases, and those things have been ironed out. The rules for them is understood. Whereas the game mechanic side, again, looping it back to Bluehole and like PUBG versus Epic, is there's been no case, there's no precedent for it at all.
Zelius remind me of something, that all those Korean MMOs that literally utilize the action bar, the HUD from all these, especially World of Warcraft. There was a game, I don't even remember what the hell it was. It was some kind of like samurai themed game that literally played an instrumental piece from one of the, I think it was the second Linkin Park album, on loop. The entire game. And I was just like, nah, I'm good.
So both games were not named Prey. You only had Prey as Bethesda, and then the other one was, the full name was Prey for the Gods.
And is it Prey P-R-A-Y instead of P-R-E-Y?
No, it was P-R-E-Y.
Okay.
Because it was a play on words.
Gotcha.
Now it's P-R-A-E-Y. That was their resolution they worked out with Bethesda.
There was a game that came out for, I think it was Xbox Live Arcade. I want to say it was called Trenches, but they had to change it to Iron Brigade or something because people were coming after them for utilizing trenches in the title. I can't remember though. I'll have to look it up.
I have no idea.
Y'all keep talking. I'll figure this out. Zelia says, "We see."
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and that is probably what one of their, I guess, debates was about the whole thing. Because they wanted to make sure that nobody got confused about it. Wait, what?
Iron Brigade, formerly titled Trenched, is a 2011 video game developed by Double Fine Productions.
Oh, Double Fine. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it clicked in my head. Because we were talking about having to like rename the game,
Yeah.
or rebrand it. Yeah.
Okay.
International copyright law is the reason behind that one.
So yeah.
Because of a Portuguese board game maker owning a product called Trench.
I could not be a lawyer.
I couldn't do it either. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. I don't. But the thing is, it's like individual singers going after other singers for having the exact same title for their song. No.
Yeah. Well, and so Zelius, to your point, normally for a company that's going to try and franchise a specific name, they're going to do something unique with it. Prey is such a largely generally recognized word that it'd be hard to have just that and not, I don't know, like other people are gonna have Prey in the name,
right?
Like, just because it's but like if it were, I don't know, Prey Die, I don't know, that was
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey, like like normally, like Mass Effect, for example, it's two words,
right?
That normally you don't see together in a title.
No, right.
So that's different.
Yeah, I know where you're going. It's just.
I'm also looking at it from a branding perspective, which is probably skewing my vision a little bit.
But
hey,
like I know that a lot of individuals out there, a lot of companies are trying to protect their name simply because there's going to be a lot of copycats out there that are going to try to have like one-offs to try to catch the unexpected or maybe uneducated individual into buying their game instead of the correct game. Like the sheer amount of Angry Bird clones that came out, or Temple Run clones, or whatever else, and them basically changing a slight word around.
Or changing the spelling slightly so that somebody who doesn't know how to spell searches it in the App Store, or
that's usually what happens on a lot of web pages too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Flappy Birds. That's such an interesting game, simply because that game, which basically stole tile sets from a shit ton of places. Everyone's like, oh my god, it came out of nowhere, and then everyone's up in arms. That game was released a year before all this crap hit the fan.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, someone jokingly said something, a celebrity of some magnitude, and then everybody else is like, oh, I gotta check out this stupid game. And then of course it took off, and then the developer was getting so much attention, both bad and good, that he removed it from the marketplace because he was getting stressed.
Yeah.
Or the fact he had to do daily battles. Over the game.
Yeah. No, that's a whole different kind of stress. Yeah.
You want to talk about stress for games? Look no further than Phil Fish.
Nope. We're not going there. Nope.
Jonathan Blow blowing all of his money in every single
Not
new
going
release.
there.
Nope.
Not going there.
Okay, I'm running out of indie developers here. No, we're all snowflake. No, because that's
You're using those buzzwords.
Yes. All right, let's go for a softball pitch here. If there ever was a TV show that you thought, oh my God, this would be great for an episodic game, besides Walking Dead.
I wasn't thinking Walking Dead, but
well, I mean, Walking Dead's a great example because it made the jump. Is there a specific TV show that you would?
There's the obvious Game of Thrones.
Well, of course, yeah.
But other than that one, I mean, really anything.
Didn't they do one?
No. Well, there's the rumor that Bethesda was working on one, but we've been talking a lot about Bethesda lately. Yeah.
There was this super duper overly complicated strategy game for Game of Thrones, which
okay.
Yes, sir.
I would say yes and no to Buffy. There. I keep pointing. It's this way. Because Buffy didn't have a single overarching story. It was... I mean, I guess you would play, like, an episode would be, like, a season, I guess. You know, but then that would be most things. I feel like good episodic games that are based on large IPs have one overarching story.
Procedural could work.
Maybe.
You do know that there's a spin-off that's rumored to be in the works, right?
Yeah, I know.
Young Giles.
Firefly. That'd be a good one.
Yeah. Wouldn't it, though? But Fox has that thing locked deep.
Or Westworld.
Mm.
But, I mean, really, it said anything on HBO. Like
procedural, solving little crimes. There is a game.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah, what were you talking? I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying? The strategy thing?
No, there was a Game of Thrones one that we were talking about Game of Thrones, and there was a Game of Thrones like strategy game that is so damn complex that I didn't even make it through the tutorial before. I just like F it. You could take over a city. You can poison the magistrate. You can marry the magistrate's daughter. You could do something else. I'm just like, oh my God, no.
Oh, I mean, that would be cool, but that does sound really complicated.
Do I have Steam open? I'll find the game. Because I was just like, I gave it a shot, and I was just like, no.
Let's see. A good episodic game.
Game of Thrones Genesis.
Oh, okay. So...
Oh, dear Christ.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Or Deep Space Nine or Voyager. Either one. Because...
Yeah. No, I...
If they did like a Telltale series for Voyager, I'd be happy with that.
Zelius is making mention of Twilight Imperium, which is a board game.
Oh, I know what it is.
That takes about 6 hours to get through the instruction manual. And
that's a game you only want to play with people who know how to play it, so that they can teach you. Not you don't have to read all the rules.
I know. No, Twilight Imperium definitely. Arkham Horror is another game. You probably want at least one or two individuals who've played the game, who know all the nuances. Otherwise, you're going to be stumbling all over the place. There's also another board game called Android that you really want a bunch of people who understand how to play games so they can teach you, because otherwise you'll start throwing out half the rules because you're just so sick and tired of reading the instruction manual, which is exactly what myself and the other Alter Confusion guy, Jesse, did for one of those. Is it as complex as Paradox games?
Oh, because a lot of the Paradox games are pretty, like they did Europa Universalis.
Yeah.
They did
Do I
it.
have any Paradox games?
You have Magica, I think. I don't know.
I'll
Maybe.
probably
I'm
not.
assuming Magica. I assume everybody has Magica because that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Of course, I spelled it. I'm sure I've got some Paradox games on here.
Yeah,
I feel like I have a Paradox T-shirt
Maybe.
somewhere.
They're a publisher, by the way. So
I know. I was trying to see if I can.
you could search Magica and then click the little. They have the little publisher link that pops up
Get over.
on the store page. Yeah.
Yep, I have that one, and I've got number 2 as well. Turn that up.
But right
there it is.
there.
Paradox
Yeah.
Interactive.
So that's all their games.
Age of Wonders, Pillar of Eternity. That's where I got the T-shirt from. Pillar of Eternity, which is like the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate.
Well, there's a lot of spiritual successors to
Age
Baldur's
of
Gate.
Wonders. Damn, I played this one a long time ago. Oh yeah. Magica. Oh yeah, I've played quite a few of these games.
I love Paradox, though. They do some cool things.
They do. Not gonna lie. They do. But yeah. No.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Voyager is gonna be my main episodic. Because there was like the whole villain of the week thing, but there was an overarching story to get back home.
Damn it.
So.
There is a game series, and it's going to bug the crap out of me now, because it is like every single episode deals with like a slightly different like crime. However, there's an overarching story behind it all. Oh, what's the name of that game?
Yeah, your library. Good luck trying that.
Yeah, I know. Actually, you know what? Let me switch it over to
Tile view.
recent.
Oh.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, that would be. Is that not an episodic game already? I feel like it is.
I thought there was one. Is there not?
I don't know. If it's not, it should be.
Oh, it's gonna bug the crap out of me. Damn it. Oh man.
But you know what game I want to see put on TV or in a movie?
What's that?
Trine. Because it's so pretty.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty, but how the hell would you make that? Well, okay, TV. No, what? It's a physics. It's a physics simulator. I mean, it's really what
It's a puzzle, but there's humor and the characters are cool. You know, they could do something with it. I feel like. But look, they're making the board game Catan, Settlers of Catan, into a movie.
I know.
For some reason,
They're-
I don't know why.
I think the project finally stalled, but they were making an asteroid movie on the game Asteroid about 2 brother miners who are lost.
What?
Yeah. No, I kid you not.
Red? Oh, wait. I'm thinking
This one.
Oh,
Sorry about
okay,
this,
okay.
Red.
I'm thinking like Red Foreman. It's like what?
Adam Wolf.
What is that?
Adam Wolf. It's there are, I can't remember how many games there are in this, but there's chapters, and basically this guy's like a paranormal investigator, and the overarching story is trying to figure out what the hell happened to his sister, but at the same time he gets pulled further and further down the rabbit hole when he takes on these like paranormal assignments.
Okay, that
For,
sounds
like,
cool.
It's a great game. I just wish that I had what was next. The problem was that I beat it. See it, Zelius. I played through all of the
Right.
what was available, and I hope that there's still more. But what I was like, it basically left on a cliffhanger. Like, you son of a bitch! I hate that. And of course, I loved The Wolf Among Us.
Of course.
And Zelius states, "Good luck in California, Blane."
Thank you. I mean, I'm sure we'll still be in touch.
Yeah, of course.
Because media, and I'm PR.
Media.
We're
Yes.
colluding.
No, nope. Not opening that can of worms. No.
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 No. I will just say I read a story about a certain individual, and I was just like, why do we have to bring this up? Because
Why are we going back down this rabbit hole?
yeah,
Go
now
away.
people are going to talk about it again, and then there's going to be people who ask what the hell this was, and we're going to be right back to square one.
Yeah, nope. Nope.
No. 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 Mm-mm. No, but let's see. For me, a TV show that I would like to see as like an episodic game. Ooh,
See, I thought you had one in mind already.
I did, but like Game of Thrones is an easy one.
Yeah.
I feel like any of those like space age, like the Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Battlestar Galactica, which I think you're right. I think there is one out there. Firefly would be great as well. The problem is I don't watch a lot of TV.
I don't even have cable. So
Well, I have PlayStation View.
Oh, see,
Which-
I'm thinking about getting the Google cable thing because why not?
I have,
but I don't.
My
have-
only issue with PlayStation, well, actually, I have quite a few issues with PlayStation View, but my biggest one is that when you select shows to DVR, you're at the mercy of the actual station as to when the actual episode starts. Because let's say that
Okay.
you want to record a show from 7 to 8. Well, let's say that the station actually runs everything from 7:02 to 8:02.
Oh,
Very slight difference. However, that means that you catch a little bit of the end of the previous episode, and you don't catch the end of the episode you actually want to watch, which is a pain in the ass. And don't even start with talking about sporting events, because they will end their connection to it
at the
end of
original
the block.
scheduled
Yeah.
time. So even if it's like OT, they just nope.
It's basically for those if anyone is wondering, there's a great case example of a TV station absolutely royally screwing stuff up. Just
Oh, I
Google
remember this.
football and Heidi.
I remember hearing about that.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun.
Now, when you say football, do you mean football or?
Football Americana. Yeah. Yeah, football
I mean,
Americana.
so to make sure.
No, I know. I don't know. See, the problem is that a lot of the games that if I want to see a TV show go into episodic, it would definitely, for me personally, it'd probably have to fall in line with like an anime. Because the anime would be...
Well, if we're bringing anime into this,
there's
then oh god.
Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Outlaw Star.
Okay. Hear me out on this.
Okay.
I would love to see an episodic game series of Naruto. One that's
Okay.
not focused on the fighting, because they've beat that horse to death a million times.
How many freaking fighting games do they have for Naruto?
A lot.
Naruto?
But you've seen what they've done with Dragon Ball Fighter Z. They took that in a completely different direction, and it's going to be amazing. But I would be down for an episodic game series of Naruto, because you can literally go his entire life.
But oh dear God.
Hey, if you cut the fillers out, it's not that long. That's...
Well, it'd be like it'd be like if you were to cut out all the fillers of Dragon Ball Z, that would make for an interesting game or show. But you kind of get bored after this week, Goku throws a left punch. Next week, Goku does a roundhouse and a kick.
Yeah, I mean, Super hasn't really had that problem. I'm revealing how much of a weeb I am right now. But Dragon Ball Super solves most of those problems. Also, Dragon Ball Z Kai kind of got rid of most of that too. They went back and they redid Z, but they pulled out all of the filler and unnecessary
Good.
content.
Because it's just like, I don't care. Great. What I want to watch, I saw 2 seconds of, and Goku did a left and a right, and then a knee to the groin, and then I have to wait another week.
Yeah, no, they've gotten rid of most of that. But all right. So aside from mega popular ones like that,
Berserk would be interesting.
oh god,
It'd be bloody as hell. That'd be interesting.
that'd be pretty dark.
And it would be interesting to actually be able to see the entire story arc.
That's
instead of
true.
the dramatic, artistic decision of absolute bullcrap.
The CG? You don't like the CG? Come on.
No, my issue with Berserk is this is episode 1. Let's go back into the past. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Dramatic ending. Wait a minute. What's wrong with this picture? You ended it before it began.
Right? That's, yeah.
Which is why I think somebody
just
is basically they're taking the main character Guts, and there's like the Black Swordsman. They're going to come
they
out.
Just had a new series or
Did
new
they?
season. Yeah, I think it just ended.
Good. Damn it.
It still has the CG though. That's my biggest complaint about it is that.
I'm trying to think. Is there
or a they could do an episodic series of Gundam because they have so many different things they could choose from, and they could do each game from a different, like, I guess, series in the Gundam universe.
I don't know if you want to add, was it Unicorn, the ones that are like all the little shrimpy ones?
Oh, no, it's not Unicorn. That's the little chibi one.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
Throw that one out. No chibis.
Get rid of that one. I actually just finished. Well, I can't say just finished because it's a little while ago now. But I watched Iron Blooded Orphans. Mm-hmm. It became one of my top 5, like, of all time.
Interesting. I just finished the series because I was so intent on trying to figure out who the hell these characters were, because I see them at like every single convention, and I didn't even know what the anime was until someone told me. So I sat down and watched the entire run of Kill la Kill.
Oh, yeah. You don't really know what to expect when you start that one.
No, you do not. You do not. Mm-mm.
So yeah, that must have been fun. You didn't watch that one with like people around.
No, God, no. No. It was described to me as a very unique, making fun of itself, like super hero clothes that are, the more powerful you are, the more revealing it is. I'm just like, what? And I watched it, I'm like, oh.
So, did you like it?
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Okay.
It's just, I was a little uncomfortable by the resistance group. That was uncomfortable, but otherwise, it was like cheeky humor. They were making fun of itself, so I was fine with it. It's just that resistance group was just.
So, I recommend Konosuba. It's parody, kind of on the video game transported to another world type thing, kind of like a Sword Art Online, Log Horizon, like that type of thing. It's kind of parody.
Dot hack that everyone copies.
Yeah, but so it's kind of parody on that, but it's done super awesome. It's one of the rare cases where season 2 is better than season 1. Season 1 is still really good. Like it sets everything up, but season 2 they just top it, and it's pretty good. So, anime, that's a thing we're talking about now.
Yeah. I used to have a slight problem with anime, and now I've calmed it.
So are you going to pick up Dragon Ball FighterZ?
No.
What?
Nope.
Why not?
Because I don't play those. I don't know.
But this is the game. This is the game we've been waiting for.
There's one genre that I do not touch, and that is fighting games. I don't touch fighting games.
I normally don't. I think I'm going to make an exception for
I
that
tried.
one.
The closest I came was Brawlhalla. I started getting really good, and I started doing competitive play, and then every single game I was being called out as a master, and I'm like, F it. I don't care anymore. Goodbye. Peace out. Like, I'll go play another game where I can mash. What?
I played a lot of DC versus Mortal Kombat. That was unexpectedly a lot of fun.
Guilty Gear X2? The only reason behind the Guilty Gear, me loving Guilty Gear, is the fact that you could switch into like a special mode that if you hit the combo right, it's a one-hit kill. However, it drains your life, and the one hit is actually blockable. You can actually dodge it.
Oh.
But that's the only way I won all the matches, was I got really good at the one-hit kill with 2 different characters, and I rocked people's socks off until they learned how to dodge it, and then I was dead. And yeah, I don't play fighting games.
Yeah,
I don't play fighting games. I don't play first-person shooters where it's human against human.
That's not true. You do.
What?
Well, okay. Are you talking about like PvP or characters human?
Character
versus,
humans.
Okay.
Humans.
No. You play Paladins.
I play PvP a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But if I play, like first-person shooter, Halo, first of all, technically, yes, I could be, if I'm doing competitive, it's going to be a Spartan against a Spartan. But you never know. That Spartan could be from some far-off planet. Probably not, but still.
In the more recent Halo games, they actually said it's a big training simulation. So,
yeah,
take that as you will.
But I don't play Call of Duties. I don't play Battlefield. I don't play
Are you going to play Star Wars Battlefront?
I haven't played that. However, I would be willing to play that.
Well, the second game's coming out soon.
Yeah,
I think. They've been talking about it at least.
Yeah, that is starting to make headlines. I
Yeah.
remember. But yeah, that would be fun because it's futuristic. I can't. It's not like we're shooting up the
The Nazis.
the Nazis or the Tsar in Abu Dhabi. Like,
Yeah.
we're on an alien homeworld, and of course, people. I know a lot of people are like, well, what about paladins? There's a bunch of humans. Like,
But
they're
more...
fantasticalled.
There's something mythical about
Yeah.
almost all of them, except for Zen, but he's a flaming sword guy.
Oh, that dude. I hate that guy.
It's like, oh, I'm almost dead. Poof, into smoke. Oh, watch me heal as I run away from you.
Whatever that stupid Counter-Strike bullshit that he does also.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, I got you. Nope, you got me. Never mind. Favorite character right now playing Paladins?
Maeve.
Talus.
I hate him. I can't. I have tried so hard to be good with him because I've seen people wreck me with him. But for me, I'm all about Rave Maeve. When
I'm on my game, Talus is my guy. If I'm playing flanker,
Do you build the self-heal deck with him?
I don't know what the hell I built, but all I know is that was a legendary.
Mm-hmm.
I make sure that when I go into overcharge, I don't run out of bullets.
Oh, the default. Okay, yeah.
So,
I mean, that's a good one to have.
Yeah, because what I do is I drop the portal down and then run past it, put my overcharge on, just start blasting people. And as soon as overcharge ends, do the sprint forward, pop a guy up, and then teleport back.
That works. And you heal when you teleport back. So
oh, yeah. Well, yeah. No, I dumped a bunch of points into that. Oh, yeah.
See, I do Rave Maeve, because I bought the VIP thing, because, I love Paladins, and my deck is built around the self-heal ability. So if you're playing against a Rave Maeve who you think you got dead and then suddenly has a full health bar, could be me.
Okay, so Talus is. It used to be Lex. Lex used to be my flanker, but now I'm all about Talus.
So you don't like Lex now that he's
No, I like
pretty much rapid fire.
I like Lex. However, if I had the choice, I'd choose Talus over Lex, simply because I can really go in and get out of a situation.
Yeah, Lex, once you're in it, you're there.
You can if you know how to slide just right, you could basically throw stuff between you, but it's still it's difficult. And then I've had to start learning how to play other types.
Oh, I have a few for each class, so I got really good with Mikoa. Fun fact about the competitive scene in Paladins is nobody plays tanker or healer, tanker support. And the high-res knows this, so on their patch notes they keep trying to make the tanks and healers more appealing. Mm-hmm. And people just. I
played 2 or 3 competitive matches, and every single time, immediately, was it Willow?
Yeah, Willow and Drogos, instant ban.
Yes, both of those, every single time.
The one time they don't get banned, they get picked first. Mm-hmm. That's but yeah, so I'm good with Mikoa, Torvald for frontline. I was good with Buck for a bit, but now it's Maeve and Eevee for flank. Damage is Victor and Tyra. Support is Genos, Ying, and Pip.
So let's
Oh, and
see.
Saris. I'm good with actually almost all the healers except Grover. I don't like Grover.
Let's see here. Frontliners, it's between Barrick and oh my god, I just blinked out the robot.
The robot?
Yeah.
What about Torvald? No. Oh,
No,
Ruckus?
No. Yeah, Ruckus. So Varric and Ruckus, and then for flankers, it's Talus and Lex. For healers, it is Genos and Grok.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
And
Grok.
then I don't have a damage.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy class, really. Oh, Cassie. Cassie's one I'm also pretty solid with too. Now that
like Cassie was the character I started off with, but I have not touched damage.
That's because everybody picks damage first, or damage or flank. So it's like,
God, if you're playing Siege, you have to have a front line.
yeah,
You have to.
you do.
No, dude, we'll be fine. 2 damage, 1 healer, 2 flanks.
I mean, I've won a game like that, but
You
it
gotta
was
play out your
hard.
mind.
Well, that game I was Maeve and I was like 34-2.
Jesus.
And it was like I was on fire. A patch or two ago there was a bug in the chat log that at the end of the game it would show you like the entire chat log for both sides, like that happened in the middle of the game, and all I saw on the enemy chat log was just somebody kill Maeve. We can't get past Maeve.
No, I got an FU after one of the matches where we were playing Onslaught, and I was Genos, and I just kept, like, I'd pop in and pop out. I kept all my guys alive, and I kept basically, doing the cripple pull.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, what the?
Especially if you have a team that you can coordinate with. So, like, it's like, okay, I'm going to lift him. All of you kill that
Oh, yeah.
one.
Well, it's because I was moving around so much. Like, anytime that someone's trying to sneak up on my guy, I was pulling him up in the air, and then my guys would turn around and go, oh.
So,
Of course, Paladins and Smite, 2 games from High Res. Of course, High Res World Championships happening in January, where, of course, you can see the best of the best from Smite and Paladins. Both, well, Smite is PC and console.
So Paladins.
Is Paladins PC and console?
Yep.
I have to be totally honest with you. I think that they need to have a dedicated Smite event and a dedicated Paladins event, because it just feels so suffocating.
Well, but
They're out of...
that costs money.
I know, but there's... Like, I go... Yes, I understand. There's a bunch
is
of other...
Paladins big enough now to have...
I don't know. That's the thing. I
We'll
don't
know
know
this year.
Yeah.
And maybe
It's just that I felt like I'd really, since I'm playing Paladins, I'm playing Smite, I'd really like to, check out both of them, but a lot of the Paladins is happening in that side room, or was happening in that side room. Then you had Smite on the main stage, and it's just like, I don't know, there was so much congestion.
Well, because last year the game hadn't even been out a year.
Right.
And this year, because it just had its 1-year anniversary, and the community has grown exponentially. Because a lot of people, and this is something that Blizzard's having to deal with, is, because Blizzard's having to take time to clean up their community.
Yep.
People are upset they're not getting characters as frequently or as often, whereas High Res has been putting new champions into Paladins like every other week, it feels like.
And Smite.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if that's accurate, but they have way more. They're adding more, and they're also constantly reworking the game because, like
For better or for worse.
Yeah, like when I was good with Bug, for example, is when the bounce house card would let me, leap over here, now leap back out, and then they change it so now it's when you land, it knocks everybody back. But, so like that's a big change of the game, and those big changes is something the High Res is still doing with Paladins, which...
Well, hell, the early version of
We
Paladins.
talk about when it was the huge map that you had the gates that you had to capture, or...
That, and also the like, you were dealt cards that you had to select for the power for your
Yeah,
level
you
up.
leveled up, and as you leveled up, it unlocked your powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was well. And then the Eevee, broken Eevee, because Eevee could spawn clones, and
Yep.
so you could build your deck right. And you could have like 8 clones out. I remember talking with Gabe about that because he used to get memes all the time of when they announced they were going to buff Eevee, and like somebody created this meme of all these Eevee clones like downvoting the thing, and he was like, I never understood it, but now I get it.
Yeah, no, I reached out to Gabe I guess a couple weeks ago saying, "You bastards, stop releasing content. I can't keep up anymore." Like the last 2 or 3 gods in Smite, I haven't even looked at them because I'm just like, as soon as I try to figure out this one, you're going to give me like 1 or 2 more. So
Well, doesn't Smite have like I've looked
80?
at the character pool. I can't
like
even
80?
begin to.
but it's like, well, and they still do the same ban process. I'm like, is it even worth banning gods at this point? Because there's so many out there.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, yeah, there's still those gods
maybe
that
they should
automatically
ban like 3 instead of 1. I've never played Smite competitively, so I don't know how
Smite's
it-
actually you ban a total of it's either 3 or 4 per side.
Oh, well,
you do 2 at
okay.
the beginning, and then halfway through, I think you do 1 or 2 more. But so 8 out of 80, there's still 72 gods you can choose from. That's not that big of an impact, people.
That's true.
Whereas with paladins, what is that? 20?
I don't know. I mean, you ban 1 on each side.
Right, so that's 2. So but
But it's
that's
enough.
That's
to,
a chunk, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same 2 each time. So.
Right, but still, hypothetically speaking, you're slimming down people's choices.
On the competitive, like the super elite competitive side, it makes sense because if you've got somebody on their team who is like the one you're most worried about, and you know they are really good with one character, then
Yeah.
done. Like,
Which is why you need to be good at several different characters if you could play competitively. Just in case someone decides to throw a curveball in there and chooses, for some weird reason, let's just say Talus. And then I can't play as Talus. And then if I didn't play like Lex or any of the other guys, I'd be up shit's creek.
oh yeah. So fun thing. I had a really good running streak with Maeve, and I think it was somebody on the enemy team banned Maeve. And somebody on my team realized, like, they had played with me before and they saw Maeve was banned and they were like, oh, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know, I guess I'm gonna be Makoa.
See, that's my problem with Smite, is that I haven't tried to like kind of branch out to different gods and different playing types, because I'm usually a hunter and it's usually one of 3. But when you're playing competitive Smite, there's a chance that all 3 of them could be banned, either a combination of my team and the other team or whatever.
Well, but like you said, it's 8 out of 80. I mean,
Right, but still, that's the thing. The way that I've played Smite is I've gotten that core pool of gods, and it's a very small pool. So there's a very good chance that, let's say my god pool is 12 strong, and let's say that they ban 7 of the 12, so I only got 5 to choose from. But these 5 don't actually work with the makeup of the rest of my group.
Yeah.
But in Paladins, the other thing is that you kind of get, I don't know, I feel like the quests in Paladins incentivizes me more. It probably doesn't do anything more than it would in Smite, but I feel like I focus more on the weekly quests in Paladins versus the Smite ones. Like, oh, you got to play 3 games as a Mayan god. Well, I don't play a Mayan god, so they're just going to sit there. Whereas, play 5 games as a support. Well, I guess I could probably learn how to play a support.
Yeah, it kind of makes you want to learn the characters. Also, the reward tiers in Paladins are a bit higher because you get like a good chunk of gold and you get like the VIP points too, I think.
Yeah.
And some of them will give you an actual chest. So.
Right, and then
and that's a game that does loot chests well.
I know. They finally fixed. There was an issue before, I think, the last patch, where technically I think it was a quest or something. The reward for something was a specific type of chest.
Yeah.
But if you already had
everything.
all of them, it just sat there as you have one chest to open, but there's no open option because you've gotten all the chests.
I've never had that problem. So
That was the space age one.
Yeah, the deep space.
I was just like, seriously? I worked this hard for this chest? And they're like, oh, you win a treasure chest. I'm like, cool. And then it puts it, there's 6 options. I've already got all 6, and you gave me an additional chest. Can I exchange it for anything? No. It's just going to sit there forever going, you got one, but you can't have it.
No, they fixed it.
I know, but still, it just bugged the crap out of me because I couldn't get rid of the damn notification because it kept saying, you have a chest to open. And I'd be stupid enough to go on there and go, son of a bitch, it's the same damn chest. I can't do anything with it. But yeah, I personally, my biggest qualm with Paladins over Smite is the fact that once you've accepted that you're going to be in the queue, you lose basically any interactivity with the menu. Where in Smite, you can, if you're in the middle of like doing god build just to see how your stats would look for a certain god, you can continue to do that after accepting. If you're trying to build a new deck for a character in Paladins, once you hit that button, even if you're not anticipating it, you think you're just selecting a card, but you actually hit the button just as the button pops up, you got to cross your fingers that the autosave caught it. There's a good chance that it will save it, and you can just continue
there
on there.
is now.
Right, I know. There's many times where it's like, okay, let's build out this character.
My most rage moment with that was I opened up a chest and I got like a rare skin out of it. Right when it popped, it was right before the chest finished. It was still popping. The things came. The little game popped up. And it lost my skin. And when I reopened the chest, I didn't get it back. I was like, no. I mean, I could play too much because it was a free chest, but I was just like, dang.
No, there's a new chest, or no, sorry. There's a character set that when you purchase it, it actually gives you 3 quests.
Yeah, to unlock another. Yeah, which is cool because you get 2 things. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I wish, and I don't know, maybe this happens, but I can't seem to. It's when you look at the weekly quest piece, it's got a new card for it. And it has 3 diamonds, 1 for each of the things to gain your thing. But do I have to go in order? See, that's the thing.
So. I don't think
because I can't seem to like switch to see what my status is for the other ones. It's stuck on an immense amount of healing you have to do in order to gain this piece. I'm like,
start playing support.
Dude, I played Genos twice, and it'd be like with barely like a little ripple. I'm just like, oh my god.
Get that auto 10% heal. Play Grover, and make all your teammates get rejuvenate.
God, I freaking hate Grover.
Or Ying, get Ying, and then all you gotta do is...
I have not had a good... I haven't played as Ying, but usually when I have a teammate that plays Ying, it's been depressing. Because they always... I don't know, they start attacking more than they're healing.
Yeah, well, because Ying has the clones. Like, you just throw the clones out and let them do it, and that's the way it's supposed to be, but I've seen a lot of flanking Yings lately, and that's kind of frustrating.
I'll tell you this, though. I make damn sure there are 2 healers that when I'm playing, I make damn sure that I kill them every single time I see it. That's Saris and Genos. Those 2 have to go bye-bye all the time.
Oh, yeah, no. Saris, because Saris can solo it. Like, she can keep a tank alive by herself.
Oh, I know.
I've had a game where it was like, it was me, or no, it was an enemy Saris and an enemy Fernando. And because Fernando has a big shield buff now, and it just, he was not going down. It took the entire team, and by the time we killed him, the rest of the team had respawned, and we couldn't get the, because every time we go after Sarah, she would just disappear, and then
that disappearing thing. No, there was one time I was playing as Talus, and I dropped the ward point as I was being chased by an enemy. The enemy stopped dead right in front of the war point.
Just waited for you.
And just waited for me to come back, because the way that mine's built is once the timer goes, I immediately go back.
Yeah, well, that's how they all are. Like, that's
you've got a legendary that you can cancel out of it.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't play Talus that much.
But I always choose the one where, if I get...
the unlimited ammo thing.
Yeah. So this douchebag just sitting there, and I turned back because like, why is he shooting at me? And then my timer ran out, and I basically popped up right in front of me, and he just.
I mean, my favorite thing to do is with Bomb King, just throw all the bombs at the, because you see the thing. It's like he's coming back here, so just layer all the bombs here. And the moment Talos comes back, just
yeah,
it's an easy kill. I mean, because Talos is going back to that point, whether forcefully or willingly.
I know. So. I'm aware. But that teleport has saved my bacon when I've been. Like, Genos has tried to grab me.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because that's the benefit of it, is it auto-cancels any CC on you.
Well, if Genos... there is a certain point where you can't teleport out of Genos' cripple. I think it's like when he's raising you up, you can't get out. But once you're stable up there, then you can pop out.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Believe me, I'm like, I'm almost dead, Come on, warm up. All right, anyway, since we went way down...
We went way down the high-res rabbit hole and the anime rabbit hole.
Yeah. It's my show. We can do whatever the hell we want to. Anyways, so let's wrap it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I hope that you enjoyed everything that we gave you. And, of course, remember that if there is a topic or a subject or a question that you would like for us to bring up on any of our Thursday Night Hangouts, you, of course, can hit us up through any of these social media means.
Or over here.
Or over there in the chat room while we're live. Now, of course, remember that the Thursday Night Hangout is every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless otherwise stated. And, of course, there is streaming on Tuesdays and Sundays. And if you've noticed, it's probably either Smite or Paladins, which is where my attention is at this current juncture of time, seeing that I'm not playing any other games. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. From myself and Blane, it's been a pleasure to give you everything coming in my head, my mouth, and of course, my heart. I will be back with Zelius next Thursday at 8 p.m. and Blane will be off to his brand new adventure in California.
San Francisco.
Yay! California. So, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.